Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Season 1, Episode 2 of A Guide Through the Internet. In today's video, we will be talking about virtual assistants. As usual, we will start off with an informal PowerPoint, then we'll proceed to a live demonstration. Now, without further ado, let's dive right into the PowerPoint. Virtual assistants are also known as smart speakers. They are defined as an internet-enabled speaker that is controlled by spoken commands and is capable of streaming audio content, relaying information, and communicating with other devices. Some of the more common names of virtual assistants are Alexa and Google Home. I'm sure you've heard about them. Let's briefly understand the history of virtual assistants. They were introduced in 2013 by Google as a voice dictation feature for their brand new Google Chrome web browser, which was competing with Microsoft Edge as well as Opera. This put Google many steps ahead of these older web browsers. They were officially introduced as speech-to-text but with a key phrase. Not long after, in 2014, Apple released Siri, a similar feature for all iOS Apple devices. Now it's also available on all Apple devices. Just a few months after Apple, Amazon Alexa came out, converting this technology into a speaker. It really is remarkable how quickly technology can evolve. In just 1 year, virtual assistants had become the new trend and were implemented into devices everywhere. Alright, now let's watch the clip where Google introduced its very own virtual assistant for the very first time to the public.
Okay, Google. Show me things to do in Santa Cruz. Here are popular attractions in Santa Cruz.
As you can see, the crowd went wild. Alright, now let's look at why exactly would you want a virtual assistant. The main reason anyone would want a virtual assistant would be to apply their features. Virtual assistants do come with quite a few features. For example, Google Home, one of the leading smart speakers, is able to answer questions almost perfectly, play videos or music, mark calendars, tell jokes, control home functions, and take calls. They can even chat with you when you're bored. That truly is very impressive for an AI-based speaker. Now let's look into how exactly virtual assistants work. The process is actually quite simple. You trigger the recording of the speaker by a key phrase, such as "Hey Google" or "Hey Alexa." Immediately afterward, your virtual assistant begins recording, and this is when you say your question. Once the assistant feels you've stopped talking or have asked your question, it stops recording, and immediately it sends this recording out to its servers, where it's then processed by speech-to-text recognition services. In Alexa's case, it's called Amazon Voice Services, and then it's sent back to you with the speaker addressing the questions by speaking. Now that you've understood the advantages of virtual assistants, let's look at some of the disadvantages of owning a virtual assistant or a smart speaker. Cybersecurity experts reveal that Google and Amazon use information from your virtual assistant to show more personalized ads or even products on Amazon, meaning whatever you ask, it may use that information to show products which you may be more likely to buy. Your audio recordings by default are stored indefinitely. Your audio recordings by default are stored indefinitely on their servers unless the feature is disabled in settings. This has led quite a few people to believe that these smart speakers may be spying on you. However, tech giants such as Google and Amazon do assure us that Google does not access these recordings. Looking forward, let's proceed to understand the different types of virtual assistants. First up, there's Google Home. Google Home is a smart speaker developed by, of course, Google. This is incredibly search-friendly since it's powered by Google's search engine. It has the ability to answer questions and is by far the best at that in the market. Google also has better speech-to-text, and its vocabulary is quite extensive compared to other speakers. However, the compatibility and versatility of Google Home devices is limited, since it's not as compatible with devices, and in certain places around the world, Google services are not available. Amazon Alexa. One could call this the world's first smart speaker. Alexa is designed by Amazon and is a chat and children-friendly speaker. It is a little bit more comprehensive compared to others. Alexa does also support a lot of different devices, making it the ideal choice for a smart home or home controls. Now let's contemplate some statistics about virtual assistants. Did you know that 2 in 5 American households have a smart speaker? Most smart speakers recognize roughly 10,000 different commands. And 2 out of 3 smart speaker owners do not know that their speakers store their audio recordings indefinitely on the servers. This is quite serious and really needs to be changed. Every smart speaker owner needs to be aware that their recordings are being stored in servers across the world. Taking a look on the left, we can see the different market shares owned by different companies. As you can see, Alexa is by far the most common smart speaker. Then it's followed by Google, Apple, and the rest, roughly 10%, is owned by other smaller companies. The market capital of smart speakers has also grown exponentially, where in 2014 it was around $100 million US. Now in 2021 it stands at a high $19.6 billion US, almost 19,060% growth, and it's expected to continue growing. Alright, now it's time for us to move on to a live demonstration. For this demonstration, I've programmed a virtual assistant, which is quite similar to Google Home and Alexa, and the code, for the most part, would actually maybe be quite similar to what Google Home and Alexa use. Okay, so we've now just gone ahead and switched into our programming tab. As you can see over here, we have our imports. I'm not really gonna go into too much detail about the code. I'll leave a link to my GitHub in the description, so if you want, you can download it from there. So effectively what this does is, it takes your recording, and then using the speech recognition library, it converts the speech into text. So once it's been converted into text, if it detects that YouTube is in the text, or price of is in the text, or if Google is in the text, then effectively what it's going to do is it's going to take you to the YouTube page, and it's going to search for your query. Let's go ahead and try out some of the features. So there's stock price, search YouTube, search Google. It'll tell you the time. It can greet you. You can talk to it about your name. So if there's what is your name, then the smart speaker will respond, my name is Alice. And of course, there's also a greeting. Without further ado, let's click the run button. Hello.
Hey, how can I help you?
Play Star Wars on YouTube. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Alice just opened YouTube for us. Opera's updating, but Alice just opened YouTube for us. Now, of course, we did search for Play Star Wars on YouTube, so that's what happened. But as you can see, it actually does work. Now, let's go ahead and try another one. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks for asking.
Search for drones on Google.
Here is what I found for drones on Google.
Yep, so as you can see, Alice just conducted a search for us about drones, and it opened the Google tab. Now, while Alice may not be as advanced as Google Home or Alexa, it is completely open source, so we do in fact know that our voice recordings aren't being stored anywhere other than the Python console on its own, and we do know that our data is not being used to generate ads, and our speaker is only and only listening to us when it is run. So that wraps up this video. I do hope you've enjoyed it. It really, truly does help show your support to us if you hit that subscribe button or like. And stay tuned, and be sure to comment down below what you think our next episode of A Guide Through the Internet should be. Thank you.